Hey guys, welcome. So right now we're about 3.5 hours before the release of my new single, "I Love You." So by the time this video is up on YouTube, the new single will be out. So this is episode 8 or 9 of the vlog. I'm not doing a whole week. I just want to do kind of like a breakdown of the song and what I'm doing, how I'm producing it, how I'm mixing it, and all that stuff. So here's what we'll do. We'll listen to a little bit of the song, about a minute into it, and then I'll start breaking it down.
I love you simply because I do. I made all of creation just to show you that I do. I love you in every waking day. Every single breath is a gift I have gained. I love you. And do you love me too? I've given you my heart, given you my son. Come all of creation, 'cause I love you.
All right, so we'll start right there, right before that second verse. As you guys can tell, I have harmonies, or at least group vocals. I have acoustic, mandolin, electric guitar, bass, a whole bunch of claps, and percussions. Now, funny enough, the first week of the vlog, or I think the second week of the vlog, was when I bought the mandolin, and that's when I was working on this song. So if you guys want to see a little more behind the scenes, go look at that vlog, and I'll put it down in the description. I'll link exactly which one it was, and it was a small piece, and I had to go buy a mandolin. I went to Guitar Center, I tried out a few different mandolins, I ended up buying it. I've been practicing and playing mandolin too, but this is why I bought the mandolin. Anyway, so we're gonna look at vocals last, and that's because vocals are a little weird for me, so we'll leave it last. Let's start off with the electric guitar. Here, this first microphone, that is a U87, a Newman U87, and on the bottom I have the overhead of a drum mic. I don't remember exactly which mic it is. So it's the same exact take. I used both microphones. Actually, that's in the same vlog whenever I am recording those guitars. And what I did was put those two together. And of course, the overhead mic is a little bit brighter. The U87 has a little more mids to it. But what I do on the individual channels before putting them in a summoning stack is I do a little bit of EQ, and that's about it. So this first one is the U87, and the second one is the overhead mic. Let's see if that opens. There you go. I should have named them, but I didn't, because sometimes I'm lazy. And what you'll see here is that the U87, where the pointer's at right now, I'm doing a low cut, and I'm doing the same thing on the overhead mic, but I am boosting some frequencies that you technically shouldn't boost, but I just thought it sounded good, so I left it. And on the overhead mic, since it's more bright sounding and there's not a lot of low end that goes in, I just cut a little bit of the low end. I didn't cut as much as the U87, and I kind of cut some frequencies that I thought might have been fighting with the U87. But on the summoning folder, oh, by the way, compression on both of them, of course, right after the EQ. On the summoning folder, the overall folder, I called it AC, acoustic guitar. There I'm doing a deeper low cut still, because I don't want anything to kind of go through. And I'm just cutting just a little bit of, low mids, mids, and doing a little bit of a high cut, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. And as you can see, I have it on the left because the mandolin is taking up the right side. Now, for the mandolin, all I used was that overhead mic pointing directly at like the bottom of the neck of the mandolin, and that was it. I didn't combine both of them. But as you'll see later on in the song, I do have this section here in verse 3, which we'll come back to in a second. Let's see what else is going on here. From there, we'll look at the electric guitar. The electric guitar, all I did was connect my HX Stomp with the Telecaster Go mono right into the interface, and that was it. My tone is pretty much figured out. I did play out of time, which is why around here, you'll see that I'm kind of cutting it up into different sections and everything like that. But it all was one take. And then I was just like, man, I played out of time. And then it just started to kind of correct some stuff. So it's a heavily compressed Telecaster sound with some spring reverb, and then just on the whole track I put them in a room reverb, which we'll get to later. But as you can see, I kind of just set the volume and forget. I'm not doing any automation or anything like that, because dynamically the guitar is already playing well with dynamics. Right here in the verse going into the chorus, you can hear and see the difference. Now, of course, I do a little bit of EQ, a little bit of compression. I did want this to sound a little bit darker, so I am cutting a lot of the high there and just some compression and put it to the right, and that's it. I didn't go crazy doing too much of a process, because the guitar itself, the Telecaster itself, is already such a in the mix kind of guitar that there's not much I have to do to the electric guitar to kind of make that up. Of course, bass, I recorded in one take, as you can see. And then I kind of fixed the timing issue that I had here and at the end. But to make it, sound fat, I didn't use any pedals. I just go directly into the interface and I recorded it. And then I used some EQ and just did some aggressive EQing there. This huge high cut, because I didn't want the definition of the bass. I wanted the push and the low intensity of the bass. And some compression, and that's it. And the compressor, by the way, is Logic stock plugins. If you guys look at everything I'm using, 90% of what I'm using is Logic stock plugins. Even for the mandolin here in the summoning folder, I do EQ, compression. The Chroma Verb is a Logic plugin that you can see right here. The only Waves plugin is this RVox. And this RVox, in my opinion, is more like a limiter anyway. But I'm not, it's nothing crazy. 90% of the plugins that I'm using are stock Logic plugins, because stock Logic plugins, they work well. Let's move on to the claps. Now the claps, funny enough, they were real claps, and then I started to replace them with samples because I like the samples more. And they're just kind of meant to be in the background. They're coming in on most of the choruses and the intro anyway. It's nothing crazy. Percussions, I'm also just kind of using some Logic stock sounds like this Latin and Brazilian here. Let me go back. This is all stock plugins from Logic. These are stock sounds from Logic, nothing crazy. Here, I do have some samples from Paul, which he used to be the drummer to Mute Math, so in my head it's kind of like, oh, the drummer to Mute Math played on my song. He totally didn't. That's it, like just some swells that I kind of put together here on the bottom, as you can see. That's like cymbal swells. And then the kick is also just samples that I had stocked. I kind of put them together, made it, made that that high end of the kick kind of poke through, but all the percussion together kind of sounds like this. I'm gonna put it from the swell. That's it. So I'm not doing anything outlandish. Actually, even here in the verse, I decided to mute some of those kicks that I don't use because I wanted a softer kick. See? That's it. And in the verse, in the chorus, those two kicks, one of them is a higher kind of pokier kick. And then that mixed with, oh, that's actually a snare. I apologize about that. But that's a snare, and the snare doesn't even really sound like a snare. It just sounds like a higher kick to me. That's why I keep calling it a kick. All right, so that's most of the instrumental. Let's listen to this half of this chorus here. Now, I do want to talk about the guitars real quick, because if you see here, I have my acoustic on one side, my mandolin on the other side, and the electric guitar on that same side, just exaggerated more to the right. The mandolin and the electric guitar are playing the same part while the acoustic part is playing rhythm. See? So there, all three of the string instruments are complementing each other in a beautiful way. I love the way they do it. Now, let's get to this third verse here, because this verse makes me laugh quite a bit. I'm going to put the guitar and the mandolin and the acoustic guitar together. So as you can see here, the mandolin is split into 3 different tracks, because I knew in my head exactly what I wanted the mandolin to play, but I couldn't execute it well enough. So I kind of just stacked all 3 of these tracks together to get the exact sound that I wanted. Remember, this was day 1 of me learning to play mandolin. I bought this mandolin 2 hours before I recorded it here on the Logic session. I even messed up there. If you listen really closely, you can hear the click still like bleed through. Right there. So my computer is really lagging today, meaning this is not a perfect session at all. I did all the mistakes. By the way, everybody say hi to Alan. There you go. I made all the mistakes that you shouldn't be making when I was recording and making this track. Now, let's look at the vocals now, because the vocals are kind of like my weakest point, in my opinion, in the song. I am not an excellent singer. I'm not a good singer at all. But whenever I record vocals, I don't record directly into the interface. We have a Neve 1073, a TubeTech CO1B compressor, plus everything behind us. So I use all of that. So what I do is record into Pro Tools using the studio's computer and the Telefunken tube mic that we have right over there. And basically, I try to get as clean as possible, clean a sound as possible. Now, I can patch other microphones in. For all my other songs, I use the Neve 1073 and the CL1B, and I used my trusty SM7B to record vocals. And like Who Would Have Thought and 633 and For Granted were all on this mic. So this is the first time I'm putting out a song on the Telefunken. Because it's a brighter, more kind of flat sounding microphone. It's like a U87 on steroids. But anyway, vocals here start off with that choir sound, that OO sound, those harmonies, which are right here.
Whoa, whoa.
So I know there's a lot of tricks on how to get that big group sound. And if you guys listen to on the Pescador album, Dios es Bueno with Músico, all of those harmonies were like a group of people in here, and I was recording and I was telling everybody, okay, let's do this harmony, blah, 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 blah. So it's not like I don't know how to do it, but this one, for some reason, was a big challenge for me. I recorded all of the original group vocals myself, and it just sounded bad. And I don't know if I was singing wrong or if I was mixing it wrong or whatever, but all the ones that say audio, 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 and that last oh there, that's all me. From there, I have Sammy singing also. So these two are Sammy.
Whoa. Whoa.
And then I have Bella also singing right here.
Whoa.
This is Bella by herself. She sings lower. So what I needed was more of a thin feminine voice. I need Sammy's thicker, more aggressive voice, plus all of my O's to kind of create that.
Whoa.
Right, here it goes again.
Whoa.
Because I felt like all of my vocals just in general didn't sound good. Now, here, whenever I do group vocals, I don't really, this kind of sounds bad. I don't bother working on every single one of these tracks individually. I kind of group them all together. Some of them I will work kind of like these bottom two, since they're lower harmonies. Let's see. Why are those two open?
Whoa.
Or they should be lower harmonies. But everything else, I just put in the summoning stack or the summoning folder. And I do just a general EQ. I use this tube EQ, also stock from Logic, which is very good. Don't sleep on that. A compressor, another compressor. So this isn't parallel compression. This is series compression. A spreader just to kind of spread everything. By the way, stock Logic. A Valhalla verb to stop the aggression from all the whoa-ohs. And then, of course, I put it through a room reverb, which we'll talk about in a second. And another reverb. So I kind of wanted this to sound a little far away. I think I was successful with it. But here, when my vocals come in, oops, I had the cycle on.
I love you simply because I do.
Honestly, I think my vocals sound a little bit weird. Because I already have some sort of a preset on Pro Tools, when I come here, I don't do too much of a process. I keep the preset that I do on Pro Tools. I bounce all the vocals because I record the vocals and I mix them on Pro Tools so that when I come here on Logic, I don't have to work so hard. So here I have the channel EQ, right? I have a de-esser because the de-esser was pretty bad. Actually, I just got a new de-esser from Waves. Here I have the Waves compressor, the RVox, which is one of my favorites, and just overall a general, what's it called? Reverb. The Space D, which, by the way, stock Logic plugin. It's not that bad. And I do that with all my vocals. If you look here, I have my verses on one track. Actually, I have this kind of empty audio track that's not doing anything. Let's delete that. And then JJ vocals 2 are the choruses.
I love you. And do you love me too? I've given you my heart.
And there, that JJ harmony is just an extra harmony I had. Bella also helped me out with harmonies here in the chorus.
I love you.
That second chorus,
Do you love me too?
I wanted more
I've
vocals.
given you my heart.
So on that second chorus, I wanted more vocals. So there's 3 voices there. And on the last chorus is the 3 voices plus all the harmonies. So it kind of feels like there's growth throughout the song. Now, do I feel like I could have sang better? Of course. But I always feel like I can play better, sing better, mix better, produce better. It's a learning experience. This, for sure, is not my best vocal performance. But neither was Who Would Have Thought and neither was For Granted. I feel like I sang awful on all these songs, but they're doing pretty well. So why not put it out? All right. And that's pretty much the end of the song, or at least everything that I did on the song. Oh, let's talk about the bus reverb. So if you look down here, I have a couple of different reverbs going out to buses and everything, but everything on the song is being sent to this room reverb. Just that one room reverb. See? That's it. And guess what I'm using on that room reverb? Space D, which is a stock Logic plugin. Don't sleep on stock Logic plugins. They sound amazing. And I just kind of chose a preset I liked, set it, forget it, and that was it. Now, funny enough, since then, I have bought the Abbey Road chambers from Waves, which are phenomenal. And I'm going from now on to be using those as my room reverb kind of sounds. But that's what I named RR, room reverb. From there, I have vocal reverbs, and I have big vocal reverbs, and blah, blah, blah. O reverbs, mandolin reverb, and just enough that I'm creating space within the area without having it sound like a guitarist using the big cloud and just you're swimming in reverb. I don't want that much. I'm probably using too much reverb on this track if I'm being completely honest. But so far, that's the track. If you listen to the end of the song, you kind of get more of that sensation of the song grew. There's a lot of dynamics there.
I love you. And do you love me too? I've given you my heart, given you my son. Come all of creation, 'cause I love you.
Funny enough, at the very end of the song here,
I've given you my heart, given you my son. Come all of creation, 'cause I love you.
at the very end of the song there, I did want to play something on the mandolin, but it was my first day with the mandolin. I wanted to mix this and turn it in already. I had been sitting on this song for about 2 weeks, and I not that I was over it, but I wanted to move on to other things. And anything else that I would try to make up for the end of the song with the mandolin just wasn't working, and my fingers were hurting like crazy. So I didn't record a mandolin at the end. But I really should have, and I really wanted to. Anyway, that's the song. Now, the most important thing about this song is that I wrote this song days after I wrote For Granted. For Granted had come out, and I was in a very vulnerable place emotionally. And it was, for those of you that know the story of For Granted, I'm going to give you guys a little recap. For Granted was me having a crisis because a lot of the friends that I used to work with here in this studio no longer talk to me and no longer work with us, and they kind of blamed us for a lot of awful things. And that's as deep as I'm going to go into that. And I was praying, and I in prayer I said to the Lord, Lord, they took us for granted. They took our love for granted. And I felt that God responded to me back, and he said, yeah, but you've taken my love for granted. And that's when I started writing For Granted. But the second half of that prayer, I've never talked about. I'm going to talk about it now for the first time. The second half of that prayer was, and I started to say, Lord God, forgive me, because I sin and I take your love for granted. Forgive me. And then I felt the Lord say this to me. I love you. I've given you my son. I've given you my heart. I love you. Just come to me. And that inspired me to write this song. So I didn't show you something very specific, and that's verse 3, the vocals on verse 3. So when you hear the song, either later today, when this video comes out, or when the song comes out, or whatever, or any other day, I want you to pay real close attention to the lyrics on every verse leading up to verse 3. Because that's the important one. That's the verse that hit me in the heart, because that's what God told me specifically. So, listen to the song, reflect on the lyrics. Forgive me if I don't sing perfectly. And, just make sure that you are understanding that God's love for you is greater than anything you could ever imagine. And he will never forsake you. In fact, he loves you so much that he sent his one and only son to die on the cross for you. And that's the purpose of the song. It's God reminding you and God reminding me when I was praying and I was inspired to write the song that he loves me no matter what, and he loves you. There's nothing that you have done that you could do that would first make him forsake you. So God loves you. God bless you. Please remember that no matter what you've done, God is there to hug you, forgive you, and embrace you. Anyway, that's my song. It's going to come out. By the time this video is out, the song is already out. So go on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever. Listen to it. And I hope it blesses you the way that it blesses me. So I love you. God loves you. And I'll see you guys in the next vlog.